Mr. Snitchnotes himself, Robert Baston, is going to get himself killed in Westville. What an idiot this guy is. He is getting his meeting with Richard's attorneys. They have filed a motion for an order of a visitation with an inmate. They say that they received his letter. They said they're trying to set up meetings. They can't. They said they tried to subpoena him for the June 13th hearing, but nobody brought him along. And they said they've received more correspondence from him. I made a video on Robert a week or so back. His name was brought up at Richard Allen's court appearance. We didn't know why at the time, and it was one of two reasons really. He was either there to talk about the conditions in Westville, or he had something got to do with one of Richard Allen's confessions. I was worried, and I thought it was, that he had something to do with the confessions. Worried because Baston is a vile man with a history of looking for attention and writing snitch notes. Thankfully, we now know, due to the released documents, that he has nothing got to do with Richard Allen's confessions. He was there, his name was brought up, because he wrote a letter to the court, to the judge, to Allen's attorneys about the conditions in Westville, and in particular Richard Allen. And I said in that last video that I didn't think that the defence was stupid enough to entertain this guy, but I guess they're desperate. They're desperate now. Rick has put them in a very tough spot. It's one thing having a jailhouse snitch, it's another thing when you're confessing to your wife and to your mother on recorded phone calls. But Robert has wrote a letter to the court, to the judge, and he asked for this to be sent to the attorneys, so I guess they're just following up. But I'm not having any of that. Baston will tell them whatever they want to hear. I can only imagine. He is just as unreliable as they come. He's such a waste of time. Like Richard's defence team have asked for, and will get, all the video of Richard in Westville. 24/7 he's been recorded. If he's taken out of the cell, he's been recorded. They've asked for, and they're going to get the video of all that. So if Rick is being tortured, the proof will be there. You'd expect to see something there, wouldn't you? Surely. Are other prisoners shouting at Richard? You bet they are. You bet they are. Of course there is. Like any other inmate who is in for something like this. Like any other person who was arrested for something like this. And I'm not sure what is going on with Richard Allen, but I'm sure as hell ain't going to take Robert at his word. He is snitching on correction officers. He is snitching on other inmates. Like, how do you think the other inmates are going to react when they find out Robert is naming them in letters to judges and the court? How are they going to react to that? How are they going to react when they perceive Robert to be helping Richard? This note is public now. They will find out. No doubt Robert will be crying about that when that happens and writing some more letters. Wah, wah, wah. Prison officers hate him. Other inmates hate him. It's only a matter of time before something happens to him, and he has no one to blame but himself. He gives himself away in the last line of the letter, but what does he say really? That people are shouting abuse at Richard. Okay, go find someone arrested for the murder of 2 kids that doesn't have this happen to them. He's lucky he's not in general pop trying to hide it like some others. Robert said in his letter that the staff make comments and do nothing to stop the other inmates from shouting at Richard, shouting at him to kill himself. Like, this isn't a big deal. There's nobody going to be getting out their violins for this. He talked about the Department of Justice being corrupt and his policing itself. He said, wah wah, wah wah, wah 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 wah. Just nonsense. He wrote down that he tried to commit S twice in 2 years. Unfortunately, he wasn't successful. The last time in March of this year, he said he wasn't offered any mental health services like that after it. Again, I just don't care for this guy. I've no time for him. I don't want to hear it. Go look up what he did if you're watching this and you don't know, and his behaviour after he was caught. He needs to be put down, in my humble opinion. And the way he is naming other inmates in documents like this, somebody will give him a helping hand very soon. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Whatever about the prison officers, you can't be in Westville naming other inmates in letters to judges. That will go public. Those inmates that are named will find out. They'll find out and they'll confront them. And at the end of Robert's letter, he has a little PS, as if he's seen this after he wrote the body of the letter. He said, P.S. Richard's attorneys just exposed this in the media and filed an emergency motion. Like, is that really what happened? Or did Robert see this on the news and then scurry up to his cell to write them a letter? It's ridiculous. Imagine what he will be telling them in that meeting. All a waste of time, in my opinion. This guy can't be put in the stand at a trial. The cons far outweigh the pros here, and I think he'll run away from this very fast once the other inmates find out he's naming them, and when they find out that he's perceived to be helping Richard Allen. They're not going to be too happy about that. How does this story end for Robert? I still think there is little chance of Richard's defence using him at a trial. If they want to prove conditions, they'll probably have other ways to prove it. I'm not convinced he'll be around then, or at least he'll go looking for something, or he'll pull out due to comments from officers or inmates. Just a waste of time, really. If he is used, I don't think the jury will take too kindly to a guy like him. Prosecution will surely be allowed to at least say why he's in there, and they have good material from other snitch notes to show the jury what kind of guy he is. At the end of the day, Robert is looking for a bit of attention, and he got it. He's bored. He's in there till 2045 at least. Probably buzzing, meeting Richard's attorneys. Will tell them what they want to hear. But I think we will have a change of heart once he realises that the other inmates in his letter are about to find out that he named them. And it's not even about what he said about them. It's just the principle of it. You can't be doing that and not expecting it to come back and bite you. I hope this is the last video where I'm talking about Robert. I can't see him being relevant in the future. I'm open-minded on Richard's breakdown at the moment, on his behaviour. I'm not sure what is going on with him or in his head. I do think he should be moved out of Westville, closer to his attorneys, closer to his family. He hasn't had a trial yet. He hasn't been proven guilty yet. But I didn't read Robert's snitch note and go, oh my god, poor Richard Allen, this is terrible, this is a disgrace. Like, what did you think when you read that letter that Robert wrote? Did it make you feel concerned for Richard? Is there anything in that letter that you were totally shocked to find out, even if it was true? I don't know. Not for me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about old Robert. Good luck. God bless. I hope everyone has a nice day.